Hey guys, thanks very much for listening in to the Game Changers Experience. Today I wanted to just highlight the fact that we are launching a brand new initiative for you guys. If you'd like to showcase your business and you'd like to get more impact in the world, you'd like to reach a different audience, our podcast is in the top 2.5% in the global rankings. We have listeners from all over the world, from about 35 to 40 countries worldwide. It's absolutely epic. If you're interested in learning about how you can advertise and sponsor our show, please do me a favor and drop me an email. It's hello@adamstrong.net. It's hello@adamstrong.net, and the subject heading is sponsorship. And me and my team will be happy to drop you a message with the details. Take care and enjoy this episode.
This is the Game Changers Experience. Deep dive conversations with leading business disruptors, Olympic athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and influencers from around the world. This show will teach you insights about the winning principles in mindset, productivity, marketing, branding, entrepreneurship, business strategy, and more. Hosted by Productivity Authority, business strategist, former elite athlete, author, and public speaker, Adam Strong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game Changers Experience with myself, Adam Strong. And today is a really special fun-packed show because today we're celebrating the 150th episode of the Game Changers Experience. That's it, 150 episodes. That's insane, right? I can't believe it, honestly. I really can't believe it. 150 episodes. So for you guys that are listening, we've actually got, so I just want to kind of put things into perspective here, okay? We've got listeners from 42 countries worldwide, from as far as New Zealand, Taiwan, South Africa, North America, Europe, Russia, all over the place. So 42 countries that we have people listening into. So that's pretty insane. And, our download numbers are increasing time and time again. So we must be doing something pretty cool here. I never envisaged doing 150 episodes of doing the Game Changers Experience. It's kind of cool. But listen, if you are listening to me live, or even if you didn't listen to the recording, okay, do me a favor, give me a like, share, a comment on the section below right now, okay? Give us a wave, give us a hi, whatever it is. If you're listening to the recording of this, by the way, honestly, I'm doing this as a live show, and I haven't done one of these in ages because today I'm going to be doing a special solo episode. I haven't done a solo episode in absolutely ages, but I wanted to make this kind of special, right? I wanted to make it special purely because number one, I haven't done that. Number two, I wanted to tell you some up and coming things that's going to be going on in the next sort of 6 to 8 months and things like that. Some exciting announcements. But also, I want to get some real good content for today, right? Because I'm all about delivering value and giving great content and stuff like that. So if you're listening to me, do me a favor, give us a like, share, a comment section in the comment section below. Do that right now. I'd really, really greatly appreciate that. And by the way, if you're listening to me on LinkedIn Live right now, okay, and you are not following if you're on my LinkedIn profile, okay, what you'll see on the LinkedIn profile, you'll see a little bell in the top right-hand corner. Click on that bell and you'll get notifications for every time we do an event or I'm posting something. You can get notifications or whatever it is or whatever it might be. So, how you doing, Martin? How you doing? Martin's over in sunny Cyprus. That's really good to see. I know we've got a few others coming in online, and let's have a look. We'll come back to these comments, guys, because they're coming in thick and fast, which is really good. So, listen, really, really, really looking forward to today's conversations. Here, 1 second. So today is a really special 150th episode of the Game Changers Experience. And like I said, we're on all the big major podcasting platforms, from Apple to the big spot of Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, you name it, we're on it. And And I'm really grateful really grateful. And I want a big shout out to one of our clients, Sean Toll. How you doing, Sean? Really good to hear. Really good to see you up on LinkedIn as well. And listen, I love using LinkedIn. By the way, I'm a big sold on LinkedIn. If you guys are not on LinkedIn, you make sure that you connect on LinkedIn right now. It's really important. Was going to say, so yeah, 150th episodes, and we've got some great shows coming up, by the way. But I just really kind of put into reflection about some of our past guests because, first of all, I just want to share my heart is filled with gratitude more than anything else right now because of the support that we have as part of the Game Changers experience and the vision that I have for it. And I really am extremely. It makes me feel very humbled, because I'm like I like to serve, right? I like to give value to people, but that means so many. It's so subjective in so many different ways. Like for me, I want to first of all, 150 episodes is quite a big milestone from my perspective, and we've had past guests. So let me just tell you about some of our past guests because some of our past guests we've had some of the biggest thought leaders, some of the biggest world leading experts and business disruptors in the world on the podcast, from people like Dr. John DeMartini. We've had Marshall Goldsmith. We had Michael Gerber from the E-Myth. We've had, excuse me, we've had actually so many different types of people, whether it be covering marketing, branding, leadership, management, entrepreneurship, sports, mindset, whatever it might be. But we've had such a big diversity of guests on board, and it's just been great. One of the things that we get actually on a regular basis is we get so many requests. Like literally, I must get at least 3 to 4 daily of people that want to come onto the show. The 95% of those guests are actually turned down purely because they haven't done their homework. We're very much by application only now. And it's got to work for both parties at the end of the day. We're also getting a lot of inquiries right now from companies that want to get their message out in the world. So interestingly enough, back in the day, a lot of companies would use like radio and TV, and you could still use those forms of advertising and stuff like that. But the big problem is that most of them are way out of their budget. And you know what? How many people actually listen to the radio these days, right? With the likes of Spotify and the likes of Amazon Music and stuff like that. Even TV. I don't watch TV. I'll be the first to tell you, I do not watch TV. Number one, I don't get time to watch TV. And number two, actually, you know what? If I really want to watch a show, I can watch it up on catch up, or I can just go onto Disney, listen to the Disney app and check out the latest episode of Star Wars or whatever it might be. But in all seriousness, I just don't get time. So I know that a lot of advertisers right now are using podcasts to get their message out, especially as we've now climbed into the top 2.5% of the global rankings. It's getting really becoming really hot topic. So if you are interested in learning more about advertising or coming onto the show, please do me a favor. Either drop me an email at hello@adamstrong.net, hello@adamstrong.net, and just put the subject heading either guest show or I was going to say advertising or whatever it might be that you're interested in doing so, because we've had a lot of inquiries, but I want to make sure that we can serve it to the best of our audience as possible. So super thankful for that. And actually, that was actually one of our big surprises for today, which was the launch of advertising on podcast, which is something that we've never done before, but we're really dipping our toe into purely because of the demand. Right, the demand is just there. So we wanted to make sure that we give it to people and service our clients in the best way possible. But anyway, enough chit chat about that. Was going to say, we've also got some amazing episodes coming up in the next few weeks. In particular, actually, this week on May 5th, I'm going to be doing a live podcast with a lady called Michelle Johnston. It's going to be talking about the systematic shift in leadership. And now I'm fascinated about that topic. So if you are listening to this before the May the 5th and you want to come and join us, make sure that you connect with us on LinkedIn Live or on YouTube. You can connect with us on YouTube at Adam Strong. That's Adam at Adam Strong on YouTube. And you all you have to do is click on the bell for notifications, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and you'll be able to get notifications when you click on the bell as well when we go live or make an announcement for any events as well. So today, as part of my solo episode, I wanted to talk about something which I find fascinating, and so should you too, right? So what I wanted to talk about today is the power of connection. All right. Now you're probably thinking, okay, connection, right? Yeah, sure. Isn't that just like, just I don't know, talking to people, building relationships? I wish it was as simple as that. Uh, in fairness, connection is one of those topics that has fascinated me, especially in the last couple of years, and it's fascinated me on a number of levels because what I did is I studied sports psychology and human psychology as part many years ago, and I always found it fascinating about how people think and why people think the way they do. And so connection has ever been more important in this day and age, especially as we're transitioning we've already transitioned into the digital world. So the way that we communicate and the way that we connect with people is very different than we did maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So I wanted to talk a little bit about connection. So first of all, what is connection? If I said to you guys, what is connection, right? Using your piece of paper right now, okay, writing down some thoughts about what your connection is. And maybe some of the things that you would have come up with is rapport, communication, relationships, right? It might be alignment. It might be synchronicity. It might be about the fact that you can relate to someone or somebody or a brand or whatever it might be. So I was going to say, your answer will probably be very different from somebody else's answer because, again, it's one of those. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, for me, connection is extremely powerful and can be leveraged in so many different ways. So let's talk about this, right? Because I wanted to share about something which I felt was a great example when we and I talk about this a lot when when a couple of years ago when Mr. Pandemic came along. What do people need? They need a connection, right? Because when you're disrupting your normal routines and you're disrupting your lifestyle, okay? And human beings, we thrive on we're social animals at the end of the day. We love to talk, we love to connect, we love to intertwine, we love to really get to know people and add value to people. Well, most people do anyway. And what I found is I really started practicing connection 2 years ago, like really practicing connection, really showing compassion, right? What is compassion? To understand what people are going through at that particular state. All right, rather than giving answers, listening, which is really important, is the importance of listening. Sit back, let them talk, let them listen, let them get it off their chest. Whatever it is that they're experiencing right now, is it a good experience? Is it a bad experience? How is it making them feel? How does it make you feel? All right. So connection is about feelings. It's about really kind of really relating to a person on a personal level. Now, you might relate to someone on a personal level. You might relate to a brand that really that you really relate to. Do you know what I mean? In terms of your personal values, for example. So when we think of connection as well, when I think of connection, there are a couple of ways in which we can connect with people. We can connect with our clients and customers and our shareholders. We can also connect with our team members, our employees, our colleagues, our family members. How can we connect with them in different ways? So let's look at it from a business entrepreneurial standpoint, because that's what the Game Changers experience is all about, right? So to me, connection is about how to form really strong bonds, strong relationships. Well, we call it relational capital. You've probably heard of that saying before. It's the opportunity to be able to leverage collaboration. So if you're able to build great connection, okay, and you look, you can then facilitate what they call collaboration. Now, I talk about the 3 C's all the time: connection, collaboration, and community. We've been using those 3 things over the last 2 years. But if you collaborate and facilitate collaboration, this enables teamwork, synchronicity. It enables people that your tribe, essentially, or your employees, or your customers. It makes them feel that they're part of something. That's what connection is, right? It's also about positive relationships, right? There's nothing more. What was I going to say? In terms of, like, is the relationship toxic? Is the relationship good? You want to facilitate positive relationships with your clients, your customers, and shareholders, etc. Especially in your teams. If you run a business like I do, we've got sort of a variety of members of staff. Is we want everyone to, see their colleagues, see their team players as friends. And what I mean by that is there's nothing worse, and I'm sure that you've probably had this experience where you maybe have been in a job, or are currently in a job, where you walk into the office, or you're part of a culture where you're like, do you know what? I don't want to be in the same room as this person, because they're just not the right person for me, right? I'm sure you've had this. Maybe there's been a personality clash or whatever it is. But you want to create connection where effectively everyone is they respect each other, but also they see each other as friends, not just as colleagues, right? They see each other as family, essentially. But also, connection is also about forming trust. Now, trust is a big word. Now, trust takes time. Trust takes a lot of time. It's not what people know. It's not what people know. It's not who people know you, but what it's it's a really interesting correlation. Let me just start that again. Sorry. It's not people want to know, people like who they people like you, like you would have heard of like no form of trust. Okay, so you probably would have heard of that connotation before. So connection is all about liking people, knowing people, but more importantly, how you relate to people. So it's like, know, and trust, but it's like, know, and relate. That's what connection is. That's how I see connection. Um, Connection is also about sharing values, sharing personal values that effectively are similar to maybe yours. All right. Now, if you have similar values, then again, you're going to be more connected to that individual, that brand. It's really, really important. The other thing about connection as well is the understanding of empathy. Empathy is such it's one of those words where, you know it's so underrated in this day and age, right? If you're using empathy on a daily basis, sharing gratitude and compassion, but more importantly, if you're candid. Now, that's an American term for kindness. How is it that you're being kind, not just to yourself, but to other people, in order to form connection? You know, being showing kindness. Adding, reaching out to individuals, and what we do in our business is we reach out to our clients and say, "How are you doing today? We're really thankful that you're part of our circle." And I wanted to reassure you that if you ever need anything, all you got to do is drop a message back or give us a call anytime. What that sends out is it shares that, actually, do you know what? It's not about making money. It's not about making sales. It's about sharing, and it's about really showing not just empathy, but really understanding that you are real, you're authentic, you're human at the end of the day. People love connecting with authentic people. Well, most people do anyway. I love connecting with people that are human. Okay, they're human. Everyone wants to feel important. Okay, everyone wants to feel important. So if I give of something of value to you, it makes you feel important. Then guess what? We're then more connected, right? We're then more connected. Myself and you are more connected. If I give something to you that helps you, make you feel important, then you're going to feel even more connected. Now, some of the ways in which you can, I suppose, some of the ways in which you can build connection is, now there are a number of ways in which we build connection in our business, for example. So number one is we use summits. So you'll know that we run the Game Changers Game Changers Summit 1 to 2 times per year, and we build really big connections. And how we do that is through our communication, through our content, through our emails or our database, by nurturing our relationships. It can be done through audio apps like Clubhouse, for example, or Wisdom, and LinkedIn Audio. It's another great way to use content to build connection with. And the great thing about leveraging content is that you are then not only building your own brand, but you're building awareness. You're making people aware about who you actually are and what you stand for. Interestingly enough, I discovered the other day, we've just been kind of tinkering around with LinkedIn newsletters. Now, if you don't know what LinkedIn newsletters are, when you go to your LinkedIn profile, you can activate what they call content creator mode. And when you activate content creator mode, you have access to newsletters, or some people do. So we started creating a newsletter. Now, the first letter I actually put together, because I'm not big on writing and stuff like that, I didn't even think it was that good, but we ended up getting almost 500 subscribers from it. It's kind of crazy. So it was really interesting just to see what the results of that. And, and then I think it was just maybe a couple of weeks ago, we put out another newsletter. We didn't get any subscribers, and we found out the reason why, because what we were doing is we were testing to see if thumbnails were working or thumbnails weren't working. Now, obviously, thumbnails work, so I just wanted to let you guys another little tip for you. But what was going to say, so one of the other ways in which you can build connection, well, YouTube. So if you've got a YouTube video, if you use Vimeo, if you're doing lives, Facebook Live, Instagram Lives. People love that kind of stuff, right? Short, sharp, snappy, sweet. Even TikTok goes viral. What's really interesting enough, I was listening to Gary Vee the other day, and he says everyone needs to be on TikTok purely because of the AI that is embedded within TikTok. Everyone needs to be on TikTok. So I need to get on TikTok apparently, but so I need to do that, right? Maybe I'll get more connections. So listen, we've covered quite a lot of stuff with regards to the actual connection, right? So I'd love to know, if you are listening to me live right now, we think of the word connection, do me a favor, use the comments in the comment section box. What it does mean to you guys? What does connection mean to you? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. I know that we've got a few more people here listening in on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or whatever it is. But what does connection mean to you guys, right? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. And even if you're too shy, don't be too shy, by the way. This is a live show. I don't do many of these anyway. But even if you're listening to the recording of this, okay, I really want you to think about how you can use connection on a daily basis in your business. All right. Even in your personal relationships, in your teams, how can you use connection to your advantage? How can you use it as your competitive edge? Now, I know that there's it's a deep subject. In fact, we're going to be talking a little bit about connection with a couple of people this week. So as I mentioned to you guys, I'm interviewing a great lady over in the US, and her name is Michelle Johnston, and she's going to be talking about the systematic shift in leadership on May the 5th. This current week, by the way, you can check out that on LinkedIn Live and click the bell notification so you can listen to our live interview. If not, catch it up onto the podcast as well. If you are not listeners, by the way, if you are not listeners to our podcast, or you're not sure about how to do that, then do me a favor, subscribe, listen, and leave a 5-star review. All I would do is that's kind of like my big 150th episode ask. It's the Game Changers experience. You can see on Apple, you can see on Spotify, but the only places you can actually leave a review these days is on Apple Podchaser, and I think apparently Spotify have now got a new feature where you can actually leave a review. I don't know how that's possible because I'm not on Spotify, but anyway, maybe anyone that's listening can rectify that, whatever it is. So interesting love. Layla. Oh, Layla's over in Cyprus. How you doing, Layla? Community relating to others. I did a whole yoga week around connection and unity this week. Hey, that's pretty cool. I love that, right? That's great stuff. And Ray says, feeling valued. Absolutely. You know what? Feeling valued and feeling important, right, is so important, because if you can help people feel valued in what they do, you can help them feel important in what they do, then ultimately they're more than likely engage in a conversation with you. And then it's all about making then it's all about articulating and asking the right questions, really thought-provoking questions. You can use open-ended questions, you can use yes/no answers, whatever it might be, right? But if you add people, and interestingly enough, I want to give a big shout out to Reka and Siobhan, actually, more importantly, because we completed the Business Accelerator Challenge about 4 weeks ago, something like that. And Siobhan had given an amazing testimonial on my LinkedIn profile. So if you get the opportunity, do connect with me on LinkedIn, take a look at it. But to me, it was like, wow, super, like, dope type of, like, do you know what I mean? When you have that kind of like proud moment where you think, do you know what, I must be doing something right when someone writes something as deep as they did. So I want to give a big shout out to that. And also Magdalena as well, as over in Sweden as well. So I want to say thanks very much for that. I really appreciate that. So it was going to say, so listen, I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's show. And, like I said to you, we're going to be moving on with this. And I suppose I have a question to ask you guys, right? So we're on 150 episodes, right? Now, some of you may or may not already listen into other podcasts, right? What would you like to see be done differently on the podcast? Would you like to see more solo episodes? Would you like to be done more regularly? What would give our podcast an edge, right? Why do you keep coming back? Well, I'd love to do that. I'd love to know more about our listeners, because the more that we know about you guys, the more that we can help you. And like I said, the more connection, right? I'm giving a hand to you guys. Okay. Now, all you have to do is just, hey, I'm going to give him some feedback. I'm going to give him a few pointers. So if you can help us, we can help you. It's as simple as that, right? I scratch your back, you scratch my back, as they say. But listen, I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. I really enjoyed today's episode. It's been so fun, so much fun on the doing these solo episodes, and I try and keep them as condensed as possible, whatever it might be. So thanks very much, Sean. I really appreciate sharing an opportunity. Definitely, 100%. I think it's a great point there as well. So if you haven't already done so, guys, please do me a favor. We're going to be doing some giveaways, which you'll be listed. It will be doing some giveaways in the upcoming shows that we've got coming up. We've got some new masterclasses going to be coming up as well. In fact, we've got another masterclass coming up on May the 9th. So if you're interested in learning about our new masterclass, of course, which is all about how to create your own summits, then please do me a favor, go onto my LinkedIn and connect with me on there, and you can you'll be able to see some information. We'll put the information below as well. We've also got another challenge coming up on May 27th as well, which is the Business Accelerator Challenge. So listen, hope you've enjoyed today's show. I'm really thankful. Enjoy your bank holiday if you're over in the UK, but if you're not, then no worries. And if you're listening to the recording of this, just want to say thank you so much for being a big supporter of the podcast. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to today's episode on the Game Changers Experience. I would be gratefully appreciated if you could leave a good or a bad review. It doesn't matter, 1 or a 5-star review, whichever you prefer, on any of the platforms, whether it be on Apple, whether it be on Spotify, Podchaser, etc. And please leave a testimonial or review about our podcast. And if you have enjoyed our podcast, then I look forward to seeing you on the next Game Changers Experience. Take care, see you soon, etc. And please leave a testimonial or review about our podcast. And if you have enjoyed our podcast, then I look forward to seeing you on the next Game Changers Experience. Take care, see you soon.